Reviewing That Show. We here review that show. And if you think we can, then we can still view that show. All the people be trying to view like us, but you know we can. It's Marty, and that's it.
Review That Show, bitch!
I didn't get another one of these watches in this motherfucker.
Yeah, no, I had to get a second one in too.
Yeah,
Probably the fifth time I've seen it.
I feel like you've watched it with people like.
I watched it by myself first, and then at Dad's Over 2 that was my second time, and that night with my mama.
See, that's what be happening to me a lot. Damn, this is nice, Keith. A lot of fucking. I ain't taking what you had set up here. I feel like a lot of times I want to watch movies more than once. I watch it first by myself, and then be like, oh shit, nigga, you gotta see this for good or for bad. You gotta see this. And I wind up seeing, like I said, I saw Judas like 4 times.
Man, that's it. So Judas at the Culver Theater.
Oh, that's good.
The Louisiana chapter of Black Panthers sponsored screening of the movie at the Culver Theater. I got this T-shirt.
I didn't even know ironically for me to bring it up, you wearing this T-shirt, bitch. But yeah, son, I like Judas. I think I was telling you like when I don't know if I told you, but like yeah, B Mike, was he had those like those early screeners for it.
I think that they put together the ones at Culver because I mean definitely Kevin and B Mike was there setting up the taking audio.
That was up. I loved it the first time. So then the second time I'm like, okay, I got to show this to somebody. I forget who I showed. Probably was Devin. Didn't we watch Judas together? What did we watch together? We watched Malcolm and Marie together.
Yeah, not the whole thing, but like.
Yeah.
No.
Let me say a lot. I just be ready, son. My favorite thing that I've been watching lately is Orphan Black, bro.
Orphan Black, that's on Netflix.
It's on Prime.
Okay.
I thought it was a movie. That's a TV show now?
No, it's a series.
A series?
Orphan Black starring Tatiana Maslany. And like my nigga Chris, man, he been telling me for years, man, it already finished, but he was telling me for years how fire the show was. He was like, bro, you gotta watch Orphan Black, man. But like something about the title just made me like not give a fuck. Like not necessarily not give a fuck, but I had that much interest. Something about the title Orphan Black that made me want to go run to the races to go watch it.
Right.
But I think he put the first episode on one day and it kind of pulled me in and I forgot to go back to it. Then recently she got cast as She-Hulk. So, my comic nerdy ass is like, oh shit, she about to be, She-Hulk. Let me see what's up with her. And everybody was saying how big, how major she was. I watched the series. I'm on season 2 right now, and now I get it. The reason why, this is the biggest hook for why people love her so much, and I'm in love with her right now too, son. She's her own ensemble. Like, she plays at least 6 roles in this motherfucking show, dog. Nigga. And they're all distinct characters.
Is it I take it it's not a comedy?
No. Well, it's not a comedy, but it's not like always all the way serious. You know what I'm saying? It's,
Dark comedy, maybe?
Dark comedy. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna give it dark comedy because it's one of those where like when you say that, I think about the dramatic parts, but then I think about no bitch be having jokes too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, son, because like it's about this chick. She like the orphan part. She was born an orphan and just she a hustling and her foster brother and she comes across this woman that looks exactly like her. And then something happens to the woman, and then she winds up taking the woman's place in life, even though she don't know nothing about this woman. Because her first thought is, I'm just gonna get her money and get the fuck.
Right.
But then she gets pulled in all this other shit happening before she, you know what I mean? Because she a hustling chick. She broke. She just trying to, you know what I mean, get it popping. She got a daughter that she ain't seen, so she's trying to get some money, get her daughter. She's tight with her brother, get the fuck. But like I said, you take on, just because you look like a motherfucker, you can't take on their life and their problems and that shit not fall upon you and all. And as the fucking series go, you see she meets other hers. And dude, the way she played each character is so distinctly different. I'm like, I haven't looked this up, but I know this lady has had to have won some kind of award. It was 5 seasons and like I said, I've seen her play at least 6 or 7 characters already between season 1 and 2. And I'm more than sure she picks up more characters as the season, in some way.
Right.
You hear me? So, yeah, highly recommend it. or like, and I'm late. I mean, the series over. You know what I mean? So
I've always heard good things about it, but never enough for me to click on it. But I also I thought it was on I don't know what I'm thinking of, but I thought it was on Netflix, but
it's on Prime. It's on Prime.
So yeah, it probably was something I didn't have access to at the time and got to it later and never clicked on it, but. Yeah. Well, I'll put that on the list. Yeah.
Put that bitch on the list. You know, I'll never stay motherfucking wrong. Watch that bitch. You hear me? Yeah. But let's get to the day, man. Well, is this bitch close? I'm feeling like everything far away and shit. Yeah, man. Welcome to the Reviewing Dat Show, y'all. It's that actor guy, Mr. Bats in the building. What's popping?
It's your favorite host, Marty here. MartyEdwards 504 on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat chat.
It's your favorite host, DC Paul, the millennial centennial. Who is DCPaul.com and who is DCPaul on all social media networks. And I'm here to review that show.
Yeah, we in there reviewing that, bro. We reviewing that. We reviewing Coming to America today. Mm-hmm. It's got I know it got my timelines going nuts. It's like almost all that anybody's talking about.
True.
Mm. And it's especially funny when you jump. Yeah, only thing Marty can say is because he don't be online.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's just funny seeing all of the back. I don't want to say backlash. That's not the word I want to use.
There's some back and forth.
There's a lot of back and forth. A lot of commentaries. A lot of commentaries. We're in that day and age where everyone has a freaking has an op-ed ready, has a think piece ready. Has an opinion, has a critique ready.
Is it skewing more positive or negative? Or
it's back and forth because it's a little bit all over the place.
It's in the middle. Okay.
Yeah, it's back and forth.
Right in the middle, son. It's
I mean,
you know what? Generational.
You know what's funny is people who like it, people who didn't like it, people who like it who mad at the people who didn't like it, people who didn't like it who mad at the folk who like won't let them not like it. It's more than just people liking and disliking. There's conversations surrounding it.
Yeah, son, a lot, like exactly what DC said, bro. Like this is spawned all these because it spawned the conversations about the commentary of supporting black art, critiquing black art, what's critiquing versus what's just hating, what is meritable. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's just all these conversations. Then you get this conversation of like not gentrification, but you know what I mean. What's the word?
Representation.
Not that's a talk, but you know us taking like it's a comedy about Africa and you know the whole African situation of are we making fun of or is it what you know what I mean? It's just like it's so many conversations are coming like what you just asked about generational. You know what I'm saying? Is it are we having expectations of it from its time versus where we are now? Is it like
and yes, because it wouldn't exist without those expectations.
True that. It's just a lot, bro. Like I said, the conversations, you know, and I'm hoping we can get into a few of them today. You hear me? But the conversations, it's just fun. That's one of the reasons why we recording this episode of Reviewing Dat, because I was like, fuck. The people talking about it, let's shoot a video about it. Why not? You hear me? But first off, before we get into it, hot takes, man, what's your first initial thoughts and feelings on Coming to America? Coming to number 2, America.
Coming to number 2.
You hear me?
Can I?
Because pause. When you ask somebody what you want to see, how do you say it now? I want you coming to America. I want you coming to America.
Coming to America 2.
That's all you're gonna say. That's what you're gonna say.
Coming to America the sequel. Coming to America 2.
That second one.
My hot take. I enjoyed it, but I did not love it. I liked it, but I didn't like it because it was a perfect film that had nothing wrong that I couldn't overlook. And I hated the ending.
We gonna get to that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
What he hates about the ending is not what you most likely think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
I can guarantee you it's not about the woman becoming queen.
But also that was.
We gonna get to it, but you know that's not what you're specifically talking about. What you saying, Marty?
Fair enough. I should have went first. I agree with you. I did not. I like this one. I didn't love it, and I was just head over heels in love with the first one. You know what I'm saying? And in terms of how I feel about, I liked it. You know, even though on the second viewing I found more things that I really, really enjoyed, but overall it was just you know. I lowered my expectations. I felt like you can't make I don't know. I feel like you can't set out to make a classic based off of another classic. Mm-hmm. I just feel like that's kind of almost impossible. You know what I'm saying? And that's sort of where my expectations were when I first heard the idea. But as more time went on, I just sort of lowered them because I just figured they couldn't do that. But in terms of what they were able to put together, I enjoyed it.
What they were able to put together. What they were able to do with what they had,
with the stuff that they had and the things that they did. You know.
It's a couple of things that you bring up there. One is when you said you can't set out to make a classic based off another classic. And it makes me think of one of the pitfalls of the movie, and we're going to get into all that later, but it just made me think of one of the pitfalls of the movie is one of the charms and the pitfalls at the same time.
Okay.
One of the charms is some of the callbacks. You know what I mean? And if you are a fan of the last movie, you're going to see a lot of callbacks. One of the pitfalls is it seems like it hinges a lot of its comedy and story on the callbacks instead of crafting their own narrative. You feel me? I think Best Man 2 did it better.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? We had the callbacks, but they still brought forth something new to the table.
Story,
so it was
didn't
able
lose the authenticity of it. It didn't rely on the predecessor.
But it still shouted them out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was one of those things of like, so it's not like we've not seen it done. We saw it directly done. It's the same situation. An old title went back, made a sequel that we weren't necessarily.
I forgot about the Best Man sequel. That's a perfect way to give a classic a sequel. That was a good one. And then that was a holiday movie.
It was a holiday movie. So they was able to flip a bunch of ways and make it different in a bunch of ways, dog. But like,
it's overlooked.
Like, so that when you bring it up, that's what you make me think about. But also, you also bring up Coming to America Part 1. And that should have been my first question to y'all of like, where y'all, like, how did that movie affect you? Because I was telling DC off mic, I didn't grow up with Coming to America 1. That's funny. I'm black and black. I done seen the majority of the classics, but that one, for some reason, it wasn't one I grew up with. Like, certain ones, like, I can go off. You know what I mean? I don't know what it was. I remember growing up watching Trading Places. I remember growing up watching Harlem Nights. I remember certain ones, Eddie Murphy shits, which is I was on. I gave it a chance late in life. Like, I probably was maybe in high school by the time I finally saw Coming to America, for real. And I liked it. Right. But that's a different foundation than someone who grew up with it since they were 6, 7, 8, 12, watched every time it came on USA or TNT or BET, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I got friends that's always around me, like, you know what I mean? Even growing up would be saying some of the quotes, and it took me years before I knew what the fuck they was talking about. Like, oh, that's what they were referring to, you know what I'm saying? I remember in high school, to be like, oh.
I was up there with the movie Friday, but Coming to America, that was one of the first VHSs that we owned, and we had a VCR player before everybody else on the block, so they would come to our house to watch a new Eddie Murphy movie, Coming to America. And I mean, I done a Randy Watson scene on stage at class night. I can pretty much quote the movie from beginning to end. And
it's iconic like that in Black Panther. That's why I said I know I'm weird about, like, I'm the anomaly as being a black dude that. You know what I'm saying? I'm the anomaly there. So, but that's also why my expectations were naturally lower than most people's. I think I didn't go in with that bias of they better get this right, they better get, because even if you didn't have it that you said out loud, it's still naturally there when you're seeing a sequel from something beloved from your nostalgic life, childhood. Yeah. So it's like I went in kind of more objective. So but I still echo y'all sentiments though. It's like. Yeah, I don't love it, but I don't hate it, and I see the flaws, but the flaws aren't so bad that, because there's some movies that are so flawed that I can't watch the motherfucker. I can't enjoy it. I can't like nothing about it. It's like, I don't want to sit through this again. And that's not what was happening. Like DC said, I was entertained. Even if it's not something I'm going to say, hey, you got to guess this shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I still was entertained, but like, I can't help but I also can't help but the fact of, I like, me and DC was talking about this before. Two things. One, I'm an artist, so I'm gonna have my own artist gaze about it. Whether I'm looking at it as a writer or as an actor or as a director myself, a piece of me can't help but if there's technical flaws with anything, I'm going to see technical flaws. I'm not gonna watch it trying to nitpick those things, but it's almost impossible for me to even watch it with my consumer eyes and not see if a plot hole happened. You know what I mean?
And be affected by it.
In some way. Now, I will forgive it because I think one big thing is gauging your expectations. I don't go in I'll put on Lil Wayne expecting to hear Kendrick Lamar. You feel me? Some people went in this motherfucker went into a PG-13 sequel of 30 years later expecting the 1980s rated R film. You can't do that, and that's where you're gonna be fucked from the beginning, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, you didn't have to make it the rated R movie in 2021, but there's some things they could have did to hold on to the authenticity of the original.
True.
Or even if they would have kept it R, they wouldn't have made a family movie. And them making it a family movie, I think, took away a lot from what made the original so magical. And I mean, again, there's some things I love about the movie, like it proving how powerful and talented Eddie Murphy is, and I mean the costumes and hair, the melanin, all of them through the thing, you know, the legends we saw in the movie.
And that's the part I gotta throw too. I'm gonna have a black bias in watching this.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
it's gonna be skewed toward the positive.
Through the positive, right? You know what I mean? My black side is gonna come in here like I'm gonna get back to that part. I want to say something about what you said of he made a family movie.
Yeah.
Coming to America was not that.
Nope.
And
I wouldn't say
so when you go into it, you gotta take that in. That's a very good point. You feel what I'm saying? The first movie was just meant to be a comedy, a black comedy, just a comedy. You know what I'm saying? And a raunchy comedy. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't meant to be for the kids.
Right.
Yeah. This was, like you said, it feels like this is what Eddie Murphy is now in his life. Mm-hmm. That was made 30 years ago. That was that Eddie's perspective.
I don't know how old his children were at that time, but now at this, he got a child that's in the movie. So
Come on.
He has a different perspective.
Yes, and I feel like even some of the jokes is like dad jokes. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm saying about the movie. It's like, this a corny ass movie, but it's a likable corny ass movie.
Yeah.
It's really dad jokes. That's what the deal is. We went from raunchy jokes of
the movie matured in those 30 years and came out with the sequel.
No, the person matured.
Yeah, fair enough. But it's like just the whole energy, everything was different. Like you mentioned that now, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I was too young to be watching this when I watched it. Bro,
so
okay.
Samuel Jackson
by himself
in the first movie dropped so many F-bombs, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he dropped so many F-bombs, he ain't bring him back for the second movie.
They couldn't. But I remember going to the video store with my cousins and my aunt, and I remember us renting Coming to America, like right when it first came out on VHS, and we went over to their house in the East, and we sat down and we watched it. And we didn't maybe get like 10 minutes into it. I would even argue to say maybe not even 5 minutes into it. Because immediately at the bathing scene at the very beginning, my aunt walks in and shuts the movie off. And when my uncle comes home, he tells him, they had naked people on it. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I've seen this movie already.
Yeah.
We didn't even get to the good part.
Right.
And I'm just like, okay, so we had to watch fucking Care Bears or some shit. But it's just like that. Like, thinking back on that, it's like, oh yeah, you really were just a little too young to be watching this.
And this was for everyone.
It's a whole different feel. Like, they know the kids are gonna try to watch this.
There was no F-bombs in this one.
Dude, it's PG. Like, it's PG-13, but, you know, it's kind of PG compared to the 80s.
A couple of Leslie Jones's scenes and lines were a little adults.
A little something.
To the line as you could probably
But it's like
get.
what you first said. You can easily watch this with your teen, preteen kids. And
you wouldn't have to explain too much. Like, what's that? Well,
or cover eyes or ears.
Question: did y'all notice? Do y'all watch the bloopers at the end? Right? Do y'all get the impression from like that little clip that we got of Morgan Freeman's speech where he actually said nobody fucked anymore, but in the actual movie it says nobody had sex anymore? Do you think there's like a raw cut of this somewhere, like a R-rated cut, like with alternate text?
With all of those people in this film,
me too.
At the very least, there may be something.
Because also, if you notice. Even in the trailer for it, there's Eddie's character telling Simi, we're going back to America. And his response is something in the trailer, but in the movie it's, oh, hell no. They don't even put that in the trailer. It's something like, not again. You know what I mean? So clearly there are a couple takes,
right.
You know, and it would be amazing if there was an R-rated take that he's just waiting to drop.
Yeah,
I don't think so either, but
That would be smart.
I feel like he has it in his boat somewhere.
That would be so smart.
That
But
would be
depends.
the version that gets released on Blu-ray and DVD. Is the
But when I'm looking at this whole story, this was even like the story itself was even some family oriented shit.
Yeah, it was.
So I feel like anything that exists like that would be the actors riffing. They might not have it in any like. It's not like an R-rated story could have come from this.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, a few scenes were.
They're gone. That's what I feel. I feel like there's some what you're saying alternate scenes of an actor just. Especially something like a Morgan Freeman, like a Wesley Snipes, like you know what I mean, just going in, but
some more dirty content.
Some dirty content. I feel like there's dirty content, but is it enough to make a whole another version?
You can do the same movie. Just give us
a dirty version. Just give us those slight tweaks.
Give me some fucks and a couple niggas. I ain't heard no niggas in the movie.
Yeah.
Give me a couple niggas.
A lot of niggas was in the movie too.
Yeah, I want to hear it like
okay, niggas told them to do the movie. I didn't hear one of them. Shit.
So, this movie itself, story-wise, it felt like a movie out of time for me. It didn't feel like a 2021 movie. It felt like a 2010 or 2005 movie.
Man,
you feel me?
I think that the movie... I kind of agree, kind of disagree with that because the movie, it so many times said, we're in 2021 now. So many times it said that, like when they went to barbershop, he was like, I got a granddaughter, used to be a grandson. They can turn into a vagina now.
Yeah, those story structure.
Sure,
you know what I mean? The
right.
whole level of, you know what I mean? Because it's basically the Fresh Princess of Munda, you know what I mean? The whole fresh out of water kick. And my nigga was trying for some Will Smithisms. I don't know if y'all saw it, but I saw the Will Smith that he was going for at times. But and it's like, you know, he comes there, he has the little jokes, and I'm so black, and we got to show our blackness, our extra. And it's I'm so black, I'm too black for this royal shit, and now he got to figure out how to be more esteemed. But then he realized he could just be his own natural self.
How many movies is that the point of it?
Bro,
just be yourself.
all through the 90s and 2000s, especially the black version of that, because that goes back decades. Period. But the black version of
we gotta teach the
kids.
How
would you say?
That's what the original Coming to America was about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because Simi, instead of going Akeem, instead of going into this arranged marriage, decided to follow his heart and find true love, and then he changed the traditions of the movie.
Yeah,
so
that's the movie. They're telling us the same movie again, and they're not even ashamed of it, and that's fine because they in two parts
fun of themselves.
They made
in the same breath.
Yeah, because they had the nerve to crack that joke about not making sequels.
I know when they were.
But like, I'm still saying they made a reboot at the same time as making a sequel. Because if you just put this off of somebody and say, this part one, little kid, like Lion King, this is the Lion King Coming to America remake.
A child watching this for the first time could just enjoy the original story. Without seeing the original movie. I think so. And
they just have their own jokes and they won't get none of the things we get and they just gonna rock with it. But like,
I think they have better movies they can watch now.
There is, but there's also worse. Because that's one of the things I was saying too, dog. Like oftentimes when we judge our movies hard. It's like if it's not all things black to all people, it's trash movie. It's whack. Don't watch it. And I'm like, there's no piece of art that can do that, and we don't do that to our white counterparts. Adam Sandler wouldn't have a career, motherfucker, if every one of his movies was judged to the utmost esteem of Citizen Kane or fucking, Godfather. You heard me? Right. But for whatever reason, black people oftentimes we do that. We do that to our movies. You heard me? If the movie just cool, it's trash. No, it was cool. You know what I mean? I think we can put out cool shit, dog. And like, I wish we weren't that hard on ourselves about it, man.
I remember people used to say it was cool for what it was. Some shit could just be cool for what it is. And this movie being cool for what it is. And I can't, and there's so many sides of it. It's okay. It's the level of not want to judge it so hard, like giving it the guilty before it's proven innocent, off the dump, because sometimes we go in thinking it's going to be bad. But then on the other side, I don't want to come and coddle our films because then, our shit ain't going to be as good as it can be. You know what I mean? So much we do that to black films, but a lot of black people consume a lot of black art, or at least art that is marketed toward them. So you kind of have your own bit of expertise about black films. You've seen so many of them. You're able to criticize and say what you didn't like about this latest one. Now, I don't think just because it wasn't the best one you've seen makes it trash.
I think that needs to stop in general. I feel like we need better vocabulary and expressing, and explaining what we like and what we don't like about our art. Because when people jump to the notion of trash, it just
and also
throws
we need
it
to
all
understand
away.
the current language. You know, people use hyperboles like that. You know, like people say trash when really what you meant was it wasn't your favorite.
But I think we need. I think certain hyperboles I fuck with, and certain ones we need to do. It does way more damage because if a nigga just sell your movie trash, you won't even watch it half the time, and it might have something for it for you.
And niggas could just say like, you know what? I didn't care for this, and that, but it was cool. It wasn't as good as the original.
And some shit just not your cup of tea, and you could be like, it's not my cup, but you might fuck with it.
Or even like, my girl laughed at it, you know. So that means it's funny.
Yeah.
Shit, I didn't laugh, but I was in the room with people laughing. That says something.
Like I said, we need better vocabulary to explain, man, because I can't call this movie trash, nor will I say it's fire, because like I said, that's been the conversation. They got the people who apparently love it. There's the people who seem to only love it because people hate it. There's the people who claim to hate it. The other people who only claim to hate it because there's other people who like it. And there's the people that's just like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just, it ain't gotta be that deep for this. Like, this ain't even that deep, bitch.
You know, I mean, I feel like a lot of people walked in with their investments from the first movie.
True. And this movie wouldn't exist without the first movie and everybody's expectations after the first one, because the first one was a classic. So you can't act like, you can't say
it's hard to follow up from a classic.
Yeah, you can't say watch it without those expectations, because
Right.
I'm not saying watch it without the expectation. What you about to say?
Nah, I was you can't, but we should.
Yeah.
That's all. We can, but we should.
I'm not saying watch it without those expectations as much as don't be so quick to jump to the negative on our shit. I think that's the flag I'm waving. You know what I mean? Because the same people who have a problem with it, I would still invite to be like, what's some shit you like? Mm-hmm. Let's start there. Before we get to shit that we don't like about this movie, what's some shit you like?
It was cute. It was cute.
That's the word I've been using too. It's not even my vocabulary, but I have no other word for it. That been cute.
It was cute. It was good for the family.
Yeah.
I laughed a lot.
That's the thing. It had some laughs.
I laughed. I ain't saying it was unfunny.
It didn't tickle my raunchy funny bone, but it tickled a funny bone a couple times.
Yeah.
I said the costumes and
beautiful costumes. Especially when we was in the movie.
Beautiful gowns.
Yes. Okay.
Beautiful, but we mean that sincerely. Like I think she did too, and she said it honestly. Beautiful gowns. Beautiful gowns. Oh my God, damn, it kind of still works.
Oh, I also like the de-aging technology.
Genetics.
It was used.
Yeah, it was dope.
Genetics? No. I mean, you know, for the flashbacks. You know,
I like Arsenio's.
I just like that it was used.
Oh, really? You didn't like Eddie's?
Fuck no.
Oh,
but we're not on the negative. Positive.
Okay.
I like Arsenio's. Like for whatever reason, it worked really well for Arsenio. Yeah. Like cause DC, I was watching it the first time with DC, and he said, "Oh, peep, this de-aging coming." And I'm watching it, and when it happened, it was like my eyes saw it, but it didn't. It was like, oh. And then when it got to Eddie, we'll keep going.
Okay.
But what you like? Positives. It was beautiful to look at, like the cinematography.
Oh yeah.
Like they got great shots,
like
colors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stop, dog. Stop. I know
we're being sincere. This is what we like.
I know. But I'm just like, I can't help how it sounds. When the niggas start saying, "Yo, the colors." Like you feel like a nigga is screaming and just the anything. Like, oh man,
you're right.
Bitch, what you got? What you like?
I know.
I'm sorry. Okay.
We got something better than the colors.
I liked what's his name? We talked.
Who? You don't even remember the man?
That guy?
Jermaine
Johnson?
Fowler.
Yeah, his name is Jermaine Fowler. Yeah.
Jermaine Fowler. Yeah, I liked him a lot in this. This is I've only really liked him in like two things, but I was like, he really.
I've only really seen him in like two things.
Yeah. Okay. Word. I've only
It's one of those other things. Sorry to bother you.
Yeah. Sorry to bother you. I liked him in that a lot.
Question is the other thing that episode of RuPaul's Drag Race? Did y'all see him in that?
No.
I didn't see him.
Really? Okay. No, I didn't. There's there's something else. I had to look it up the last time. But there's only one other thing I seen him in that I didn't like.
Okay.
But yeah.
There's elements about his performance I liked.
I like Leslie Jones a lot.
I dug Leslie Jones in this. And people often give her a lot of bullshit.
The whole I dug. Okay, I don't know if I can go into this, but I dug the moment when we're at, I guess, the wedding party after he's passed like the prince's exam or test and all that stuff, and like all the family members are kind of getting together, like Simi and Tracy Morgan are kind of getting together. Leslie Jones and Sherry Headley are kind of bonding.
Pretty good at these names.
Yeah. And then I dug that moment, like all that stuff like worked. I was like, well, you know what? Most times for me it's like sometimes you can finish really strong and have like a hard take off, but it's like as long as you can finish really strong, like I dug sort of the actors and the chemistry that they had with everyone. I
dug the chemistry between the actors, especially Fowler and Eddie Murphy had really good chemistry. Leslie had great chemistry with everybody. I felt like this movie played to a lot of her comedic beats well.
Yeah,
I'll agree with that.
Tracy Morgan was kind of just there for me. Like he might have had a line or two that I laughed at, but normally when I would think that Tracy Morgan is in a movie, at least historic, that's such a big word to say historically, but like in the past, I would feel like I would have been left with more from his presence.
Well, I like that Tracy Morgan is still working after such an accident that left him paralyzed and possibly not able to work for a while.
This ain't even the first thing he's done since then.
It's not the first thing he's done. No, I'm just saying that just seeing him still working.
And that's one reason why I like seeing a lot of these people, honestly. Like most of the cameos and most of the people we saw, I was just happy to see black greats just on my screen.
Absolutely.
That I was just great.
Lunell,
I was like,
I love seeing Lunell.
Lunell popped up. So I was like, some people didn't like the cameos, but I was a fan of the cameos.
I didn't like all the cameos. What we saying, what we liked, I liked.
Okay.
A lot of the cameos. We stay positive. Yes. I'm saying I like the cameos given what I realized what this movie was trying to be.
Right.
When I was like, if I was to look at this movie as something fresh, no, because that's another thing I said off mic, dog. Like the first movie was a lot more sincere. This was a lot more self-aware, and this movie is so self-aware that it has all these cameos. You know what I'm saying?
But these in the original movie, they weren't cameos. These were just actors getting roles.
And that's what I'm saying.
That's the difference.
But that's the difference for me. That's the difference. That's what I'm saying. When I look at all these cameos, I don't count it against the movie because this movie already over the top is telling me we're more concerned with celebrating the last movie than with being a new thing.
But some of those cameos already.
So you know what I mean? So that celebration of cameos is why and they use it as a joke later to set up their big quote unquote Randy Watson cameo at the end. So it's almost like, oh, you were kind of trolling us with these cameos anyway to set up for your final joke. So okay. Also, in story, we're not going negative. Your face looks negative.
No. I don't know what he doesn't like about the ending, but I want to say that I thought that Randy Watson's entrance at the end was on point. It was perfect.
He was saying positive things.
No positive. On the negative.
Okay, cool.
So he was saying Randy Watson's entrance was great.
I love seeing Randy again. That was one of the callbacks that I enjoyed.
Me too.
Another callback that I enjoyed was the subtle one of him mopping when he had that scene with John Amos. I fucked with that callback more than most of the callbacks. That was one of my favorite ones because it was way more subtle instead of like beating me over the head with, hey, remember Coming to America 1?
Right,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, there were a few of those that were real subtle, like at the very end, kind of when Randy Watson was performing and he turns to his new queen and he asks something like you know, give all this up, and she looks and she's like, nah, which is exactly what Lisa said at the end of the very last movie, which is a subtle callback.
Yep, it's smooth.
You have to know the movie like that to know that. So those callbacks and cameos, so to speak, I really love.
And this is the one too, like remember that big funeral scene? That was hilarious. How James Earl Jones wanted his funeral before he died, while he still was alive, so he could die at the funeral. And that's what a lot of these big cameos happen. But under the context of it, we're about to send off the king of Zamunda, this big kingdom. Yeah, you have Salt and Pepper and Gladys Knight and all the people there, man. Like on that pretense, I'm gonna give them that, bro.
Was there a problem with them having Salt and Pepper and En Vogue?
Some people felt like we're gonna get to when we get to the negative,
Okay,
but some
okay.
people have problems with the cameos, it being a cameo heavy joint. And I'm saying, in that moment, look at him shaking. He's moving.
No, I'm sorry.
I was thinking CDC on the audio.
Okay.
But under the pretense of this is this huge funeral for this great king, I'll give those special guests a reason because within your story you made that make sense. Yeah. So, and I love that whole scene. I thought that was a cool scene. And that's another thing too. Some people had problems with the musical numbers. I didn't. I think maybe going back to my Spike Lee watching or some shit, I have no problem with seeing black people singing and dancing.
I love it. I love a musical. I'm a musical theater kid. You know, I love a musical.
Yeah,
but we're referring to the actual sometimes like when the Tiana Taylor
we're talking
singing
about the
dancing.
positive parts that we liked about
No,
it.
wait, okay.
Because some of those,
right.
I mean, which musical number did I like?
I'm just saying in general, I had no issue with musical numbers being in this. I love seeing the fucking like the step show type aesthetics of black culture being thrown in. Yes. I love the choreography and all that. I'm thinking, some bliggity black shit. Because anytime we're throwing our culture in motherfuckers' face and we're being unapologetic about it, I'm always gonna raise the fist.
Okay. I like that the black woman at the end singing "To Be Loved." She was apparently one of the contestants or winners of Sunday's Best.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
okay. Yeah, I was like, I don't know
that I really liked.
Okay, cool.
I was going in his brain thinking about what
I was going through all the musical numbers, and that's one of the likes.
I love Wesley Snipes. I love the Wesley Snipes.
All his entrances was musical numbers. He came in with a whole fraternity full of niggas doing.
That's how I get it, baby.
It's like, are y'all fighters or like a dance troupe?
Chirac. Dolomite in this has me looking at Wesley Snipes on a comedic level of he seems to be having so much fun in the twilight of his career.
But also, I remember him doing stuff like Tu Wong Fu. So even though
he
set himself up, but I feel like for me, him doing that was enough because he had already set himself up as a big macho action star. And then this is him, him not taking himself super seriously and doing so well at it.
Yes, and that's my whole thing because we got glimpses of his comedic chops in the past, but then he really became you either know him for the serious Wesley Snipes actor or the serious action star. He was like stone faced, mean mug,
either
Blade
or
just random shit. You know what I mean? I love him in the one with Sylvester Stallone, the Demolition Man. Like that was a night.
Right.
You feel me? But before decades, he was Wesley Snipes. So, like you just said, to see him not taking himself.
Some prison time now, he ain't kill no more.
Hey, that's serious. Hey, that's serious, baby. I'm gonna live life.
More fun after prison.
You know what I'm saying? So that's great positives. You got anything, Marty?
Nah, man. I mean, I don't. I'm trying to think of something more. If I have any other positive things before I jump to all the other thoughts I have.
All the other thoughts.
We just call them disconnects.
Fair enough. Because that's a great way to put it, disconnects. Because I want to just speak on the level of criticism, dog. Okay. I think there's a difference between hating on something to me and giving it an actual critique is one where you're coming from with it. You know what I mean? Are you coming from a place of like genuine, I want to love it, but I might have had a disconnect. Or I have a freaking degree, or I got experience, or like I know this topic enough that I'm literally giving it a critique based off of this is how it came through my lens. Because some people have merit. If you directed a bunch of films, or if you got this and that, you know what I mean. Your critique is actual a critique.
Well, I think,
you know what I'm saying. Okay. Also, DC brought up a great point of Mike earlier about being a consumer of things. If I consume enough of this, I have enough experience of seeing this done in a way that I know that I like. So it's like...
And also, I think everybody's critique has merit. It just comes from a different lens. But even if you are not an expert or haven't consumed a whole lot of black art, but you're a consumer, period, this is made for you. You know, so like... That's
a different thing, but that's true. But I'm going to just say this about hating. To me, hating is when you just being contrary for the fuck of it. Mm-hmm. You already was expecting not to like it, so you already had a lens of negativity. So you just think you're watching it with the lens of just trying to prove yourself right about it being shitty.
Even,
you know what I mean?
You didn't like Eddie Murphy or any movie.
You already have vendettas or biases against the people
like
from
I never
jump.
liked Eddie Murphy movie. Okay, well, you can go into this one thinking, I told you I hate Eddie Murphy movie.
See? Or nothing that you're saying even, can even help the movie, or sometimes people want or get mad that their story isn't being told instead of just looking at the story that these people decide to tell.
That's the people like you were mentioning earlier about. I think it's either cultural appropriation or the people who would who see some kind of African images depicted, but like it's not giving credit to an actual tribe where someone should maybe coming from. Like that's a
whole other topic. That's not what I was talking about. I was just talking about how let's say we look at Judas and the Black Messiah, right? The bunch of people was mad. Some people was mad because we didn't get to learn the biography of Fred Hampton and his and we're like, that's not the story they wanted to tell. So that's what I'm saying. Some people come with their negatives because what they thought it should be, it isn't. So now they mad. And it's like, well, but what about what it is, or what they want to do? Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You feel me? So that's what I throw into the bubble of hating. Just having a negative reaction, a disconnect.
Look at this Instagram nigga.
This Instagram nigga popping out the suds and shit. You know what I mean?
Instagram nigga.
Actually, he may have already been an actual model before I saw him on Instagram, but to me, that's like, oh, this nigga from Instagram.
Yeah, son. Even the setup for that joke was like 2000s early. You know what I mean? Oh, it was tropey. We saw it coming a mile away when he tell the girls, oh wait, let me go see my mom, and then the dude come out. We knew the dude was gonna be in the pool, eating whatever. My thing was I laughed, and this is such a technical thing, and you're gonna see it the next time you watch it. They got out of paying them 3 girls above extras, because if you see when they spoke lines, they only showed a boy.
Oh.
So they could have got other people to pay for those lines. All we saw them do on camera was nod their heads. So they got paid an extra rate.
Oh, man.
That's how that go, bro.
When they could have got featured extra.
We didn't see their mouth move,
bitch. Fucked up.
You feel me? Now, depending upon how they were hired. If they were hired to say those lines, then they got their money. But if they were just some extras that were brought on and then we heard them speaking, I'm telling you, son, that was done separately.
Okay, so are we speaking on disconnects now?
Wait. One last thing. I enjoyed seeing Fancy again, being the leader of the Rose
Gustave Beauvais, absolutely.
Yes,
and she remained beautiful. It ain't like she even fell out of the spotlight. She's currently on one of these housewife shows, I think.
She's still on, and she has a podcast.
Yeah, she's still
relevant.
Keeps herself.
Oh wait, pause! I can't believe I forgot my favorite. The oldest daughter, Mika, gorgeous, fierce ass.
Oh yeah,
her man.
Yeah, her. Eddie Murphy's
Kiki Lane is her name. Kiki Lane. I know that actor name. I learned hers. Kiki Lane. You heard me? She killed it. She killed it in every way.
I agree.
Oh yes, we can get into all our other thoughts like disconnects or where things may have lost us or et cetera, et cetera. What y'all talking about, man? Because of course the thing ain't nothing perfect. You know what I mean?
I felt like, okay, so there's a different like sort of pace and tone to the original movie, which
pace is a funny word here. That's a word, pace.
Like I know that this film intended to kind of go this pace or this race, in terms of how they hit you with everything, but like I felt like there was just so much time taken in the beginning, and this time we just kind of hitting everything. We just touching it like, hey, you remember this? Cool. Remember that girl used to hop around the bargain bird? Okay, cool, there she is, boom, bang, and then she's gone now. All right, now we about to go Wesley Snipes. He about to walk in like a pimp. I don't know. I wanted it. I felt like it could have used like maybe, I don't know, 30 more minutes, 20 more minutes to kind of take its time and kind of work through a couple of things.
I wonder if that was start off and I wonder if that was the edit or if that was the script. Because sometimes the script was just written that tight, or sometimes they might have had 30 more minutes, but they thought they needed to cut it down or whatever. Because that's like I said, I watched this the first time DC came through, and that was one of the main things he was even saying. As I watched this, like things just kept. Like, we learned this, like you just said, everything happened so fucking fast.
And that barbershop is the source of all information, ain't it?
But that was a perfect example. Like, in the barbershop, they walked in. Them niggas, them old ass men didn't even take a second to think. They instantly remembered him from 30 years ago. They instantly knew where to find his son. They instantly knew, like, everything just happened. Like, whoa, like, it was...
Then when he came back to the barbershop, he asked the dudes if he had seen his son. Yeah, he was here today with some girl. She wanted to get a job. Here. Oh, yeah, they finna get married. You know where? Yeah, over there. Like, come on, bro.
Dude.
New York City is not that small.
Dude, they had the coincidences on coincidences, boy.
That's what I was thinking. I was telling myself that, but I'm like, I don't know.
And certain shit, and I'm gonna say this too before we get too deep in the sauce.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Certain shit we do forgive for comedic license.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
The tone of this, it don't take itself that seriously.
Nope.
That's why when we watch this, we're still entertained because it didn't give us a reason to take any of that too seriously.
But he talking about the pace.
But no, you're right. But when it comes to pace, that's the truth.
Which made us disconnected from
No. I'm not taking nothing away from. I agree with everything you're saying, but I just want to throw that caveat in there of like this is a comedy because we brought the thing about the African nations and Africans being mad, and one of the main things people were saying was loud, yo, this is a comedy.
Well, even for but even for the original one, there were like Pan-African and African people who were offended by the way that, I mean, some people were proud to see the African depicted as such an opulent, beautiful country, but there were some people. There were people who downright didn't like the movie, and for multiple reasons.
And I feel like they have merit, but the only thing that I'm saying is this: all those people you had all those years and all those decades to feel that way about Coming to America 1. Why the fuck you gonna even put on Come to America 2?
No.
Okay. That's all I'm saying.
I'm saying there's a whole new crop of people for Coming to America 2 who have that. Same people who had that thinking for Wakanda.
Is they children too?
For Wakanda. Yeah, I mean, these are new folk.
Yeah. It's a new folk. There's a new folk.
New folks. But yeah, we still talking about disconnect.
But like, I just wanted to just throw that in there. But like, continue.
Okay, I just wanted to say that, like in the first movie, maybe they never actually shot a frame in Africa, but I felt like we were in Africa. You know what I'm saying? This every step of the way felt like Atlanta. Like, at no point did I ever feel like we had crossed any borders and gone to any foreign
even the
lands.
scene with the zebras and the lions. That was definitely Carol Baskin.
It was Carol Baskin.
But yeah, like that.
It felt like an Eddie Tyler Perry movie on some shit.
It certainly felt.
It did. This felt like a better Tyler Perry movie, but it had some Tyler Perry-isms about it that I can't lie about.
It did. And speaking of Tyler Perry-isms, so disconnects. Most of the musical numbers for me were disconnected. I get why you would have Gladys Knight and Salt and Pepper and En Vogue performing, because that's also a callback to the time, like they were possibly some of the biggest stars
of that time too.
When the first movie came out, you know, the updated lyrics, like Gladys Knight singing "Leaving on the Midnight Train to the Moon," I felt like took away from the regal classiness of having Gladys Knight in your movie, bro. And I was like,
but that's more
yeah,
telling me
it's slapstick.
It's silly shit.
And speaking of musical numbers, bro. When he joined in the song with Tiana Taylor,
he didn't have to. That's when he crossed the line.
Now it's High School Musical. That's what we watching.
Cause truthfully, son.
And I like musicals. Yeah, I do. I love it. School Days, one of my favorite movies.
Son, when you see when I first saw your boy hit the Prince song.
That's a Prince song.
Okay, so. I was so joked out at the old African man hitting them high notes. That was slapstick. I laughed out loud at the nerve of this old.
That was funny because that was another callback. You thought he was finna hit the She's Your Queen.
Yeah, it was the same thing.
But then he goes into something else that was like, okay, shit.
Yes.
But then
even Tiana singing was a little corny. But you know what? I'll accept it. I'll allow it. But you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Like I was right on the bridge when she started
that
singing.
was already like, y'all losing me. Like y'all are finna lose me. And then when they
but when he jumped in the mic, you're like, you fuck
now I'm totally disconnected.
But that was for the kids. That's one of those moments to me that's what reminds me.
That fucking song. She was talking about.
Hold on,
I got 23 positions in a one night stand. That was not for the kids.
I don't know, man.
DC just said, fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids. Fuck them kids. Not for that scene. Now with Pussy Poppin' Tiana Taylor, that's not for them. She came out of a big old robe to reveal something very revealing. No.
I ain't mad.
And
I was at the rap.
Another thing.
But again, he was the Fresh Prince of Zamunda. I swear he wanted to be Will Smith.
This, like, at a certain point, this movie, like, because you brought it back to my brain. this felt like a parody of Coming to America at certain points. When we go to Wesley Snipes' compound and those motherfuckers are on the fucking Dance
with
Revolution, use all of them doing shake weights, bro. I'm like, this is like if the Wayans brothers got a hold of.
I thought that shit was funny. I'm sorry. I thought that shit was funny.
Hold on. Let's acknowledge that.
I understand it was corny though. But I thought it was funny.
That Wesley's character, General Izzy, his country was called Nextdoria because it was next door to Zamunda.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
So
Let's
Zamunda
go.
was called Nextdoria.
Let's go.
But since you brought up this being like a Tyler Perry movie, I'm gonna talk about what I hated about the end of the movie,
Give it to him.
which was technically another musical number. It was the finale.
It has nothing to do with the story,
And not-
bro.
Oh,
And
you're
now
talking about
Randy
John
Watson.
Legend?
No, I'm talking about the Soul Train line, where they were at the wedding, all the characters.
The classic '90s trope of the whole cast having a big
Soul
dance.
Food ended. So every character had a chance to come down the Soul Train line and do their thing, and then everybody came together and did the fucking electric slide while Randy Watson was on the stage.
He hated it.
That's so Tyler Perry to me.
That's
You know,
so
that's like
90s,
how
2000s.
so many black movies in the 90s, 2000 ended with like everybody's like in the kitchen. Oh, turn that up, Big Mama!
And that's when I go back
everybody
to
dance through the kitchen like
this
this.
is going through the perspective of 50-some-year-old Eddie Murphy, dog.
No,
That's why that was the dad
No.
joke. This was the dad joke coming
and
to
then
America.
that-
Because even that scene, because that made me look at that when there's that scene where they're eating the burger and the fake burger that was made of grass.
Uh-huh.
That to me is his 50-year-old perspective joke
They're like,
on. That's how these young
people,
are.
these young people are concerned with climate change.
That, you know what I mean? He had a few of those that made me go, oh, this is your commentary, Eddie. So that was him not even realizing that's not. That's the joke of the On Fleek. They had the On Fleek joke, which was funny. I thought it was funny.
I did not think that was
I thought it was funny. I liked a lot of the corny shit, I guess.
No.
But like the On Fleek joke happened. But that's the same thing. That's it personified.
That was pure
He
Eddie.
thinking On Fleek still popping with these dance numbers and shit, and it's not.
First of all, I saw the end coming with the oldest princess eventually becoming the crown princess.
So you were here when I said it out loud at like minute 10. Like as soon as you see her be the strong black woman, you know, okay, she's gonna be the queen. Oh, she's gonna be the queen. We knew.
You know, but the most cliche ending you could do is all the characters
Still
doing
back to
their
the dance.
to a fucking electric slide.
He said,
I said, now you playing with my intelligence, Eddie.
I accept the ABC ass story.
Damn, bro.
But the soul
God
train.
damn it, Eddie, you better not end it with a fucking soul train. You did it. God damn it.
Oh my
Hey, Twitchy
God.
what? What you say?
No, okay, I forgot, man. You threw me off on that one. Oh, okay, I remember that. Was I the only? That's a good one. Was I the only one who thought that the oldest daughter was like a part
Fine
of their
as
own?
fuck. Oh,
No.
Yeah.
No, but okay, that she was a part of the children's own personal Dora Milaje or whatever.
They did seem like
she was,
that.
She was dressed different than like all of them were kind of, and she was like ready to go
All the time.
I'm like, yeah.
Did anybody else?
She was just a bad bitch, bro.
detect
She was.
any low key sexual tension between her and
brother.
Lavelle's character?
Yeah.
I felt like they really needed to up the sexual tension between him and the barber because
Okay, now
it was
Yeah,
almost like
chemistry.
it was almost like a Simba Nala moment when they were training for the thing and she was besting them.
Let me get into my disconnects then. Here. Now we're into my disconnects. One, I did not believe that barber character would go for his ass. I did not believe that romance.
For them to get married
In 2 weeks, however long, for them to jump to marriage and all that, they did not
I can see
He's
her
a
doing that
prince.
because she's poor. Yeah, right.
Yeah, like
right.
he's a prince.
But you know what I'm saying? The personalities, I didn't feel them. Like you said, I felt him and his
fair
sister
enough,
more.
fair
Yeah, it was
Chemistry-wise.
They gonna kiss.
But here go the thing too though, dog. Their relationship, they did like so many things did not develop on screen to say it was a 2-hour movie. When they got to that argument between the brother and the sister, he's like, I know you don't like me. When the fuck did we see her not like you, bro?
She said, I never said that out loud. And of course, she got up from the dinner table.
I just don't know if she had, bro.
Okay.
Is that the only time?
And she didn't even look at him when she left.
She
Yes,
was
she
very
did.
No, I looked at- I
friendly
just
in
now.
the training montage.
She
party.
stood away. She didn't like give him no shit. She just was away. Like the way put like
I
this.
feel like she showed it. She never said it.
Yeah.
It's under the. I didn't see it enough on my screen.
But I'm still.
It was an underdeveloped.
There was a whole lot of things that didn't.
I got a couple though, but that was underdeveloped. The next one, Tracy Morgan and Arsenio Hall, we're friends now.
Yeah.
Nigga, when?
Yeah,
what
man.
made y'all become friends? You just was giving them shit, and then all of a sudden you decided to be friends. The moms, girl.
Just giving
scene
them
he said he liked.
I did like it.
No.
I did think
I like the
chemistry.
scene
I
in the
did
box,
think the
but
chemistry.
they did not develop from when they first met. What's their names?
Sherry Headley,
Sherry and
Lisa
and Leslie
Jones.
Lisa Leslie, bitch. Leslie Jones.
Well, one character's name was Lisa.
Lisa and Leslie. Real shit though.
Same thing.
But I'm like,
Right.
yeah, son. It went from Lisa being like, what the fuck this woman doing here, and Leslie being the fish out of water situation to Leslie rocking her dress that one time. So here's a gift. Now let's get drunk together. If anything, something should have made them get drunk together earlier. Then they build that chemistry. So then later, when she gifts her with something, it makes sense. I got to see it develop. There's so many of these things that I didn't get to see develop on screen. You just gave me the payoff and then tried to play catch up. And I'm like, no, that's not how any of this goes. Even Leslie Jones's character in general, dog, because they had to make a choice and they didn't make a full choice. When he decided to bring his mom, we needed more hijinks from her because she's part of the fish out of water shit. You feel me?
She's the two.
She's the two in Coming to America. You feel me? So it's like they brought them both, and then we only focused on him, and then she came around when convenient. What is she here for that in anyway then?
Here's one.
Like I said, Fresh Prince.
Wesley, General Izzy's son, which was a thing. You thought there was going to be some kind of thing.
Oh shit!
It's like, oh shit, and then
it's the boy from Power.
Dre from Power.
And
I didn't know him from Power, but like even still, that was a wasted character.
Why does he even have a son? But I mean, like this, like it was one of those things. I give this. First watch, I was like, why? What the fuck? Second watch, you know what I mean? Like certain things I was cool with. I like the Trevor Noah cameo.
I did too.
Yeah.
But and that one actually made sense by comparison to a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? Right.
I like the Michael Blackson cameo.
Yep, that's another one that made sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Now,
it made sense for me because they had a lot of up and coming comedians in the first one just doing one lines and stuff like that.
You know what?
And I laughed out loud at Rick Ross even though it's for the wrong reasons.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, man, that was the one time where I
Rick
just yelled out, just kill him, just get him out of here.
Watching him struggle with that African accent made my night.
Oh my God, I can't believe they left it in. I would have told Rick Ross, I'm sorry, but you're on the cutting room floor. Hell no!
Thank you for use of your home.
Thank you,
We'll make sure that your face is featured in that scene.
We can even name a little spot. The Ross Hut or some shit.
Listen, I know the production messed up your begonias, but listen. We can't use
but let me try to think. What
We're
like
talking about undeveloped.
They just have these undeveloped stories. Because that's the thing too. When you look at Best Man, right, the sequel, they knew how to keep all of their storylines and characters relevant
properly. Yeah.
Yes, this one had this big cast of people, but people got lost in the sauce. You hear me? And it was like, well, we didn't need all these people if we're gonna get that lost in the sauce with it. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that. I feel like this movie could have like divided up like 20 or 30 minutes to each like sort of section and kind of like just fleshed it out a little bit better. But I felt like I don't know. Yeah, I guess it just keeps going back to the pace where it's like in the first movie was like, how long was it? Like 2 hours and 30 minutes or 2 hours and 20?
Don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Okay.
I
know it was like 2 hours.
Long attention span.
Yeah, but I say older movies tend to be longer.
Yeah, but it's just like I felt like they weren't. Well, I do remember the studio being like, we want you to cut this fucking dance scene, that whole like dance sequence before old girl comes out. They wanted them to cut that shit, and it's like I feel like this time around they had something maybe more grander, like y'all said, and that shit got cut. It's like that whole thing was like
You think so? Because there was still a bunch of big dance numbers.
Yeah, those didn't get cut.
I think there was some things that they should have cut and then given more time to other developments of subplots and like that.
They kept all the pomp and circumstance shit.
Look at that!
As this elephant walks up here for no fucking reason.
This fucking CGI elephant scene, bro.
They kept all the pomp and
circumstance shit. We still don't believe you in Africa.
Come on,
we still don't believe you in Africa.
Like
no way you in Africa.
It's still like one of them parks in Atlanta.
Yeah,
but like
that's the Tyler Perry studio. That's the one that got the most grass.
But there's a lot of like things with more depth that it feels like they cut out, and that doesn't work for me. We haven't even talked about Eddie Murphy yet, but we'll come back. I want to talk about, what's his name, Lavelle?
Jermaine Fowler.
Jermaine Fowler. He's a cool lead to me, but from scene to scene, I don't know. It's like I like him in certain scenes. It's like one scene I look at and I'm like, nah, like you did that, bro. And other scenes I'm like, okay, you're pushing, you're doing too much. Why are you yelling at me? And one question I had was, is he a stand-up comedian?
Yeah.
Okay, because he has that vibe when he speaks sometimes. He speaks sometimes as if he's always setting up a joke. And sometimes that works, and sometimes that's charming for the movie character.
It's comedy. I mean,
because we know this as students of the game, dog. Like most comedic stand-up comedians that become comedic actors, there's a certain, not even just comedic actors in general have a certain aesthetic, a certain character that they present when they're on screen. You feel me? Like one thing that people often gave Eddie was he knew who his was, and he didn't defer from it too much in his early stages. Like he stayed strong. Like later on he was able to do the Norbits and the shit, but early in his career he was like, I have my I'm almost like a straight man that's funny or some shit, because he always had his swag and his suaveness and his strong black manness, but he still was funny and shit. Like Chris Tucker, he allowed it. Like we know these different tropes. He seems like he's trying to find his. He don't know what it is fully yet, but he's trying to find it. Well, and I'm watching his development in this movie.
I think that his delivery and his energy is similar to what we saw in Sorry to Bother You. I think that he might have found it. It may just be a disconnect for you. To me, it seems okay. So
he's likable though.
Yeah.
See, that's the main thing that works for him.
I agree.
He's not annoying. He's a likable guy.
He's good looking.
Okay.
We look at him now. He's fairly symmetrical in the face.
That's a good looking woman that just popped up.
She's beautiful.
Yeah. You can't put him next to her and ask me to talk about beauty, bro.
You're right.
But keep going. What you say?
On screen, he looks good. You know, he does have that delivery. He does stand up and comedy a lot. And to me, that's the disconnect was when he was like the more emotional scenes. You know, him talking to the barber. You know, like. When she cut his thing off, and at first when he cut his, you know what I mean? Like that scene went from like A to Z so quick. I think that at one point they was giggling, and then he flipped the chair on. I was like, no, I'm tired of this. I was like, wait, didn't y'all just?
He had a few moments like that where he went from 0 to 100. I'm like, why are you yelling at me right now, bro? You did not build up. The last scene was like, no, Dad, fuck you, basically. Like, okay, calm down. When he first found out, he was like, you gotta get out of here. Like I was like, bro.
When the Africans first came to his mama house and they was like, we want to take you to Africa, he was like, no, I'm Jermaine Fowler, I'm my own man.
Like, bro.
And then the money falls out the briefcase. Oh, okay.
It's like it's like at times he falls into, and this is some like technical actory bullshit right here, right? In scripts, you'll see an exclamation point. And the rookie actor will think that anytime you see an exclamation point, that means to yell.
Yeah, right.
When really that exclamation point just means punch it with something.
Yeah.
You can punch it with being loud. That can work. But you can also, there's a quiet anger you can come with as well. Or maybe it's not even anger. There's so many ways they just want you to punch it with something. And I feel like he read exclamation point and he was like, it's time to go off. This is the part where they want me to get loud, y'all. Or like if it's time to be emotional, it's like he had this emotional. It's like I just see him still putting the leading man act together because it seems like he's been a sidekick on screen for a minute.
Yeah.
You feel me? So this was his time to get his lead man on, and he didn't do a bad job. It's just I can see. I'm seeing he gonna grow into it.
Yeah.
If he gets more opportunities, and I hope he do, because I ain't gonna know, trying to get it in here.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's still growing into that.
Yeah. Eddie and Arsenio.
I can't think of anybody else I would have put it, like anybody else that I would have put in his role. Anybody else that's currently working at his capacity, I would put in their role.
He remind me of your boy, but like 10 years ago. Who was your boy that was in
Big Mama's House with
you knew I was thinking about that dude. He reminds me 10 years ago of that guy, Brandon T.
If he was a little bit younger, if Brandon T was a little bit younger and had kept working, he might have been in that role right there.
Because that's his archetype. And was he the same one in the one with Tropic Thunder? Who's that in Tropic Thunder? That's him too. See, that's the archetype.
I think he's a bit older, Brandon T.
But now he is definitely. But he's still getting that money. He's on The Boys, right? That's him on The Boys. Brandon T on The Boys. The fast nigga, who that is?
Oh no, that's Usher T. Jackson, I think. Or
no, there's not Usher T. David Usher, but something like that.
Damn
man, David Usher.
Usher T. Jackson.
Jesse T. Usher.
Something there. My phone fell into the couch, so I can't get it. Anybody watching? You've been watching me go. My phone fell in the couch, and I can't get it.
It was right there at one point.
Still, it's gone. But James T. Usher is his name.
James T. Usher. I knew it was something. Okay.
Them guys are similar. Woo. But anyway, Eddie Murphy and Arsenio, we ain't really talk much about them. I love bringing the band back together. One thing you made me laugh about was in the beginning of the movie, where did they been call this man Lil Wayne, but the graffiti character. They treated him as if he'd been there since forever. like they grew up with this man. He was nowhere
that was
to
one
be
of the first ones
found.
that had me shaking my head like, what are you doing?
You went in the first movie?
What are y'all doing?
Why is he the whole...
He's spitting on us. Or maybe that was a female, because at one point they said whose aunt is this?
Yeah, but that's a joke though.
And also sometimes the Lion King on stage, Rafiki is played by a woman.
Okay.
Maybe I just know Wesley cracked that joke, but yeah, I'm just saying in general, Eddie's still Eddie, man. He's still like great at what he does, dog. Like I was excited to see that. One part of my expectations did come from I really dug Dolomite. I think he did a great job in Dolomite. So if I had any expectations, it was hoping that he could recapture that magic and bring it to this.
Okay, word.
Also, Kenya Barris co-wrote this, so I was digging Black AF, so it was like, okay, you're not a fan, okay.
There's a disconnect.
There's disconnects. But I like seeing him and Arsenio back together, dog. That was fun. Like that played to my nostalgia bubbles really well.
I feel like
Listen, he owed it to Arsenio. Okay.
Yeah,
Get him another one.
Y'all feel like Arsenio? I don't know. I felt like Arsenio was present, but like he was kind of like
Pushing
it
aside
in for the most part. Yeah, he was kind of pushed it aside, but then he would show up and have all this energy as the side characters. But he just kind of, I don't know.
It seemed like Arsenio didn't age as well as Eddie. Neither did his skills, his talents. It just seemed like it didn't. And I believe that they were supposed to be I believe they're the same age. And just maybe they just grew older with different amounts of money. Because they just seem to grow older in different ways.
One thing I did stand out to me as this movie progressed, me watching it now a third time, is Prince Akeem a bitch.
Yeah. So
this all is about him being scared of Wesley. Yeah. And Wesley just in your face disrespecting you the whole movie.
And
every time we see him.
I remember him being that kind of person in part one. Like in the opening scene, him and Simi did have their little battle thing going.
Yeah.
He was backflipping.
Why are you a bitch now?
With it.
Yeah, but okay.
Why is Prince Akeem a bitch?
Right.
He went to go find his son to duck war with Wesley, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't a bitch about it. He stole Daryl's girlfriend.
Come on.
Oh, fair enough. He did steal Daryl's girlfriend.
Oh, Prince Akeem was a lot.
He was ready to give it all up.
He was naive. He was square, but he wasn't a big bitch. He wasn't no bitch.
Right, and now he's
I don't know. Yeah.
Now it's like you are not the king of a country acting like this.
Are they saying that the daughter
trying to avoid war with this poor ass country next door?
You shouldn't be letting. I would have liked it if him
and also his daddy did prophesy that he would be assassinated within 1 week of his death.
Yeah, but I just still feel that even the banter between, and you made me laugh hard with, and the end Wesley Snipes tried to kidnap his daughter, tried to kill his daughter in the fight, and then he get to be in the party dancing in his own train like he was an enemy. But
him and his little backup dancers.
I would have enjoyed it more if him and Wesley had this passive aggressive speech with each other. Because Wesley had it. Wesley kept on telling him some under-ass shit.
But after a while, Wesley also said, like, I hate to have to go back to plotting your death. He was saying that to his face. You know, but yeah, in the beginning, it was very, like, he said, better is to be tied by blood and family than blood and war.
And I wish if their chemistry would have been, they both say, like, underhanded shit to each other all the time. And then we can
always ducking, like,
I know, because he just kept right. And then maybe let's give his wife something to do in this movie. Maybe his wife is the voice of reason to be like, nah, Keem, I know you want to go fight, but like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, because she really had to say she was the queen of his world in the first movie. She was still a side plot device that just came up out of convenience to give him that speech he needed at the time he needed it. But for the most part, she didn't really do shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like maybe like we could have gave him some balls that was sometimes too big for his britches, and like maybe the women could have, because that would have been like a natural place to be, and that could have also give Leslie something to do. I don't know. There's a lot of things we could have got to do. And what if Wesley had a crush on Leslie? That would have been hilarious too. He would have been shooting his shot the whole movie.
Been funny. So then
and what them two getting married was the big wedding or something. That would have been funny, bro.
That would have been funny. Yeah. That's a part 3. But then the scene when his 3 daughters are whooping Wesley's ass. So how did the 3 of them, these tough girls, where they get it from if not you? If you a pansy and you scared of Wesley, why not just send your 3 daughters on his ass? They clearly can handle him.
I mean, they jumped him too.
You running from him, making plans to like play chess so that y'all can combine.
Boy, Wesley ran your ass to America to go find some random seed.
Find your bastard seed.
When Wesley said, I lost my strays. I've had a few strays. You'll find your stray bullet, you heard me? Just so he can take over your country. The fuck, man?
Yeah.
So you don't have to go to war.
Sorry, Akeem.
King Akeem was more of a bitch than Prince
Akeem. And I think they said that on here. Your girl, the barber girl, said that. We're on that part where she basically said, like, he forgot who he was. The prince was better than the king.
Oh.
And then apparently the whole country knows, you know, Coming to America 1, they must all got the video.
I remember
the legend of all the details of
right.
But if I can believe that, okay, fine.
Yeah, because I mean, you got
this outside queen,
this American woman who's the queen.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Story.
But actually, man, she ain't been the queen long. James Earl Jones just died at the beginning of the movie, so that's like a Princess Di story, or like Meghan Markle.
But still, you came over here. Yeah. So we gonna want to know how and why. The barbershop
fast food franchise over here with you.
Man, that was just.
They did bring the old McDonald's there, and then Louis still playing with greens. You saw that? Huh? He ain't washing lettuce, but he got the grass-based burger.
I would have cut the first joke, and I would have made the second joke with the McFlurry hit better for me.
What's the first joke?
The first joke was like, we're not like McDonald's because we got the. He said something and he made a face.
Oh yeah.
And to me, that was one of those corny times where he could have. I feel like no.
That was a callback to the original movie.
I know it was, but what I'm saying is for the second joke to even work even better, and this is a minor critique.
What was the second one?
The first joke, I forget what he says at the top of the movie. He made this joke, and then he made the face, and him making the face let me know that you wanted this to be a joke. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying on some more subtle comedy shit, he could have said, yes, McDonald's was here, and we're not like McDonald's, and he could have said it straight, you feel me? But then later when we see him selling the McFlurry, that would have made the McFlurry joke hit funnier for me, because it's like the McFlurry, for instance, because they made that work to help Hakeem to see himself too, so the way that you and that's just my own writer side, but I think it would have brought it out.
I will say that uppity bitch say what was not funny the first time, but it did make me laugh
the second time. Why did it work?
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I don't know. Did it have?
Maybe because she was for some reason. Maybe because it was her calling Eddie Murphy the
uppity bitch. Yeah,
I guess
maybe. I don't know. But I enjoyed it.
I was like, this American woman from Queens coming into my palace calling the queen a bitch. Like, no, off with your head.
Off with your head. You called my queen a bitch.
But Taylor.
Yeah, she looks good. I loved all the women here. I mean, most likely, we had some beautiful black people on the screen. I'll just say that, period.
Look at this Asian girl.
I didn't see her. I don't need to rewind it either. But Tiana Taylor, I thought she was gonna do more in this, but I see what she represented.
Yeah.
She represented the same. Like once again, they told the whole story again, just again.
Yeah.
You know, so
much.
she was the barking chick. Just we did more with the barking chick. I wish she would have had, instead of barking at the end, she just would have went woof to the person.
She even did the whatever you like, and I didn't even do that one right. She didn't even deliver that line right. Like, has she never seen the movie?
Maybe they wanted it to be different.
Maybe they did.
I feel like I don't know, man. I feel like she was like, I want to do it this way. And Craig Bro was like, you know what? Let's try it. Yeah, let's do it.
And they did it.
And they did it. And this is it's in the movie.
So story-wise, so the Fresh Prince of Zamunda comes to Zamunda. He finds himself. He decides to do things his way. Everything good. Then he runs to America to go marry your girl. Well, I don't know why they got to get married in that instance. That was random.
I know.
Why did they get married?
Like, we moving to America, we need to get married right now.
Because that's the thing.
On a Tuesday.
Because that's the thing. The marriage was because the marriage of Zamunda was because we unite in the kingdoms to get away from war.
And
why is he
had given him 1 week to do this before he did whatever.
So that was the timetable of that marriage. Why are you forcing this marriage? You're American.
In Queens, right? You can get married anytime
you want. You just brought your old lady from Zamunda. Why don't you and your lady just kick it in Queens? Why the fuck? Why are we rushing to a marriage aside from plot reasons?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what? I don't have an argument with that one.
No, me either. We talked about the pacing was a disconnect.
And that whole part is a disconnect for me, dog.
Yeah, I mean, he comes back to America, straight to Queens, straight to the barbershop. And like, hey, have you seen that boy? Wait, no, actually, when he came in, he said, hey, we heard you found your son. We all caught up already. What's up? I'm looking for, well, he was here today.
Let me give you a small one. Son. When the movie started, right, they show the kingdom, like, how and shit, right? And there's this part where they show different pictures of things that they have framed in their house. There's a framed picture of them two niggas from the barbershop. Now, if you haven't seen them niggas in 30 years, how do you have a framed picture of them how they look now in your house?
Oh, right.
In your house! And them niggas acting like they have had no... Like,
you're back. Because it was like last time you was here.
30 years ago. Because on one end, I was about to... When I saw it the second time in the movie, I was about to be like, oh, so that's why they still remember them guys. Maybe they've been keeping in touch. No, that's not how that scene played. They had been keeping in touch.
When they came back to the barbershop the first time, they had all the updates. You ever heard you had a black president? Oh, yeah. The Klan is coming back wearing khakis. So they went to, oh, yeah.
My grandson is my...
Yeah, everything. So no,
they haven't.
And then all the niggas was at the wedding that day.
And that's the thing, my nigga, he flew everybody to the end.
Like,
everybody.
This barbershop is so essential to the way my life went. Y'all were the ones who told me how to find my son, how to find him again.
So come to Zamunda. Come to Zamunda on me. But of course, everything works out in the end. You know, he gets his woman. His Zamundan woman decides, I want to go back to Zamunda.
The Kembe Mutombo.
I thought he was. I was like, that was real, like, disrespectful to just roll up on somebody and say, "Yo, Mutombo, he gonna whoop your ass," and he stood up, and then I was like, "Oh shit, that is Mutombo." Okay, cool. This joke works for me now.
But I will say this, even with its flaws, there's something to be said for a black movie with black faces to not end in trauma or tragedy or negativity. We just got us a cute little corny movie. You know what? I appreciate it for existing, man. I like having movies where we just on some positive kick. You feel me?
For what it was.
For what it was. You heard me? I do not want to say that you cannot critique, like, you don't have to love everything black, but I still would always say give everything black a shot. We owe it to ourselves. We have decades of media that we're told is great because it's white. You feel me? I believe in the bias of black people to support things because they're black, because we have a lot of catching up to do. You feel me? A lot of these things that are supposedly great, it's only great because majority of white people own the shit, and they said it was great. And then they tell us that it's great, and now we have to accept that it's great. While we got a lot of great shit in our canon that should be heralded way more and more, but we didn't have the power positions to push it. I always bring up shit like Juice. I always bring up shit. Like, there's so much shit that I can just list off that's like, man, no, this is like great material that you can do hood shit like Godfather, and all Godfather and Goodfellas is white people hood shit, but that get to be classic. You feel me? So I'm standing there, or like the Adam Sandler shit I said earlier. You get to come out with just some corny shit and to make buku fucking money because it just get to be corny. So no, I'm gonna look at this shit and I'm gonna still have my gripes. I'm gonna still see the flaws. I'm gonna still see whatever's up with it. But I'm not gonna hate on it. I'm not gonna say it's trash. I'm not gonna tell fellow black people not to support it. You hear me? I think you do yourself a disservice not at least watching it to have your own opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
Have your own opinion at the very least.
Do watch it.
Do watch it. Do watch it, dog.
A strong disservice. And I mean, it is a true testament to how powerful Eddie Murphy is. You know, to be able to employ this many black people.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
You know, I mean, the dude, if you look back at movies he was doing like Boomerang.
Oh, one of my favorites. I wish I could have got on that series.
I mean the movie. I didn't really care for the series.
Oh, you didn't care
Oh, the series wasn't good. I didn't even see the series.
I like the series.
But I'm
You
so
didn't
in
care for
love
it?
with the movie. I was hoping the series was
I
good.
didn't catch on. I didn't even latch on to the series because it wasn't. It didn't strike me like that. It didn't.
We'll talk about that another
but
time.
The movie. If you look at the movie, like that one had. I don't know if it was a lot of cameos or just a bunch of like the working black actors and comedians, even the models and fucking Grace Jones. You know what I mean? Like everybody was in that movie, and not in the way where like they were unnecessary. You needed Eartha Kitt.
One of the great things I want to piggyback
really
off
needed,
of.
Grace Jones.
He really created Black World before Tyler Perry or anybody. You know what I mean?
Making these people real characters and not like, now we just put put Tiana Taylor in there. Now we just throw somebody in there. Like, no. These are just how you use somebody, such a big personality like Eartha Kitt.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know.
And like I said, the whole world was black. Think about Boomerang. These were black executives with money, with power, and all these different kinds of black people. We did not, there was no white gays in the early Eddie Murphy movies, dog. He just really did his thing.
This is true.
And you feel me? So I can appreciate, even if we get into this, Lou is like the only white person really in this movie.
Did you read the thing about how they had to put?
I saw the article headline, but I didn't read it, about how they had to have at least one white person in it or something like that.
Yeah, they whatever studio it was at the time had forced Eddie,
the original
had forced Eddie and Arsenio to put one in there. They gave him a list of some white comedians, and they had known Louis. They just like working with him, so they gave him the role. But yeah, they needed a white actor or comedian to have a speaking role in the first one.
I thought
got you.
Bro, I saw Lou on this one. I thought he was dead. I
swore
swore he was dead.
I don't want to name no name.
I know the big name he thought was dead. A lot of people thought James Earl Jones was dead.
I don't want to name no name.
And I was like, no, don't kill him. You thought he was dead too?
No, I didn't think he was dead, but I was like,
when he dies, they're gonna play that scene.
Yeah, no, I was like,
they're gonna play that scene when he dies.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I was like, I hope y'all filmed all his stuff. I'm like, he gonna pass before y'all finish. Like, that's what I was thinking.
He's
like,
currently
old,
in
bro.
the Cicely Tyson. Well, no, it's like him, Harry Belafonte, Sidney Poitier. They like our old greats that still that's still alive and stuff. But I have to say, I don't see Sidney Poitier a lot. Like James Earl Jones still kind of work. Harry Belafonte still do interviews. I can't think of the last time I saw Sidney. I thought Sidney died. Now somebody told me no.
Sidney Poitier is still alive?
Yes, he is.
See?
No, I mean,
I'm on both sides. Sure. I wasn't sure because he's really, to say he's one of our classic black actors. We don't really like hear much about him like nowadays.
You know, he may be failing health and possibly chosen to withdraw from the public eye.
I could believe it.
No, he's still alive, 94 years old.
No, he 94. Belafonte like 90 something. Like we got greats in the 90s, bro.
All right.
It's deep.
Yeah, and it's even
John Amos. Being in this, it was great to see him.
And listen, Louis built his own career.
It's like with Louis, remember that cartoon?
He had the fucking the damn animated show. He hosted. What was it?
Life with Louis.
No, but what was the game
Family
show?
Feud.
Family Feud. He built his own thing, and
Yeah.
now
He's got like some.
he is
FX
also
show or something.
aging. You know what I mean? And still working. So that's one like white actor who he at least he employed early, and then later on in his career. What else is Louis doing nowadays?
Mm-hmm. I was wondering where you were going with that. That's what I was looking.
I'm just saying. We're talking about all the old black people, even like an old ass comedian like Louis.
Oh no,
built his own.
I'm going to say this. I only care about what you're saying through the lens of Eddie Murphy giving this white man a job. Generally speaking, I don't care about these old white people being around as much as I care about my black. That's all I'm saying.
This is true.
My bias coming in again. But you're right, because the thing is, like when you look at him and the Keenan Ivory Wayans, like I like looking at our greats that like employed a lot of people who went on to have careers. I often think because Keenan Ivory is why we have Jim Carrey. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of people.
How you care about Jim Carrey?
No, I was mirroring into what you said about Louis.
Yeah, that's the same.
The same type of thing. Oh no, I could say fuck Jim Carrey too if we gonna talk in comparison to John Amos and James L. Jones.
True. Man, look, Louis had a career, bro. Louis is. Nick, we were just talking about watching the goddamn cartoon. How many motherfuckers had their animated series? Okay. Eddie Murphy had an animated series.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. The PJ.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, yeah.
I think he did.
He did.
Eddie did. But they got a lot of white people who didn't. Well, Charlie Sheen's animated series probably should have. Would have interesting.
Oh man.
But any final thoughts on Coming to America too, y'all? Oh my.
Said what?
Final thoughts on this joint. Any last words for this black movie, this Eddie Murphy comeback? I hope we get to see more Eddie Murphy somethings. Well, I know he does. He has some Beverly Hills Cop shit come in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, apparently, maybe get Megan to do some stand up.
Yeah, he did announce that recently that he's planning on doing more stand up.
Have y'all seen this IMDb thing about the it's a sequel to Twins called Triplets or something like that?
I've been hearing about that for a minute, that they want to do a sequel to Trends with Eddie Murphy, Danny DeVito, and Arnold. Yeah. But also, they've also been wanting to do a reboot of Twins with there's a fandom, and the two actors are with it, with Jason Momoa and Peter Dinklage. That's been an online thing for a few years, and people want to see that. Okay. And then also the other side too, there's another version of it that people want to see, The Rock and Kevin Hart. So I would rather see Dinklage and Momoa, but I'm not against.
Are they like a couple now?
I care apparently. Watch The Rock's new little show though. Young Rock is cute.
I like it. Yeah.
I like Young Rock. It's just cool.
I like it.
But nothing else on Coming to America? Nothing else on these guys? No thoughts. Look at Atlanta. I mean New York. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It is, man. It is.
I would. Yeah. It was cute as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coming to America, cute AF. I think that's boom.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all you got.
Let things be corny. Thank y'all for listening, guys. Y'all hit us up at reviewingdat@gmail.com. As we always say, you refer it, we review it. That's how we do it. Next up, we most likely gonna be covering WandaVision. Just ended, so we're gonna talk some WandaVision. Yeah. And I'm hoping you guys jump on that Orphan Black. Thought that shit fire. I'm about to get out here. So this is that actor guy, Martin Bats Bradford, Mr. Bats. You can find me at Mr. Bats. Spell it, Mr. Out. You're gonna find another cat. And for reviewing that, man, I'm out of here.
His favorite host, Marty, MartyEdwards, Edwards504 on Instagram, Twitter, and Snap at the chat. Also go to lowrainpictures.com. Click on the Your30 tab, where I coach show there with. What's his name? The Black Actorpedia. Your30 with Marty and the African Observer. Check it out. Peace.
And then we had DC Paul, you know.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm DC. DC, follow me at whoisdcpaul.com or who is DC Paul on any social media network. That's all I got.
That's all we got, man. This has been a fun episode, fun movie, and yeah, man, I got nothing else to say about that. Support black cinema. Period.
Yeah, man.
Period. That's all I got. Adios, peoples.